In the recent years, due to various humanitarian crises, young women and girls are exposed to many dangers, challenges, and problems. Indeed, many of those dangers, challenges, and problems are either due to the climatical changes, drought, flooding, collapse, and nutritional crisis, security crisis, either from the country of origin or from the environment. More specifically, in the Sahel, there are many young women and girls who are exposed to many dangers to which they should not. And this number of exposure increases exponentially as week, month, and years goes by. And if we do not take actions, this number will only increase. The situation is getting worse and worse because the security issue in the Sahel is changing. Famine is increasingly ravaging, and the cost of living has become more expensive, which adds even more. These young women and girls are forced to leave their environments where they feel safe, to abandon their studies, to move and become refugees, to be exposed to all kinds of danger if they want to survive or if they want to have at least a small chance, even if it's minimal, to be able to survive. They face danger and challenges such as forced marriage, earlier marriage, dropping out of school, abuse, violences, human trafficking, and PP. And security crises add no less. As many have known for several years, the issue of security in the Sahel arises several countries in the Sahel, and especially several areas in particular are faced with acts of aggravated violence perpetrated by armed groups, armed bandits, terrorists, and their violence is only increasing. Because before it was just content to perpetrate acts of violence, but for sometimes they have contributed to the cause of the serious famine which the countries of the Sahel are facing. Just imagine spending more than 9 months or several years cultivating several hectares of land, and when the harvest arrives, these armed groups come and destroy. The cattle that arrive are killed, which means that these people no longer sources or they no longer have any, they can no longer even use the fruits of their hard work to support their families. And because of the security situation in these areas, more than difficult, several organizations, whether national or international and governments, are having a hard time carrying out their actions in these areas. They are helping these people, and it's not impossible, but it's very difficult for them to carry out their actions in these areas given the security issue. And it's always be up to the young women and girls to find enough to meet the need of their families by migrating to the big cities to find work, and even at a very young age. And they are faced with all kinds of violence there: abuse, rape, unwanted pregnancy, clandestine abortion, and they are exposed to these dangers more and more. They are forced to do so or are obliged to do so. Is it the situation that forces them more towards these dangers, or is it a very physical people who force them toward these dangers? Indeed, many think that when there is no food in the family, it's up to the head of the family, the father or the mother, to go and find something to meet the need of the family. But in some area of Africa and more in the Sahel, it's up to the young women to look for something to feed the family and to the depress of themselves, to the depress of their own happiness, to their own security and their own health. Whether she does it because she wants to protect her little brothers and sisters, or she is forced to. These young girls face these dangers and challenges. In general, when there is no food in the family, the decisions that family are more inclined to take is either to take younger out of school so that they can marry or go and look for work. But these young people will have to look for money at all costs and whatever the price. Young women and girls are incredibly exploited. They see all their right flooded. They see themselves being used to achieve all possible ends. and they do not even have access to education, let alone quality education. They do not have the right to speak and express their desire as their idea. They have no say even in decisions that directly affect them. They are underestimated, discriminated against, belittled, silenced because their voice have power and power. They are forced to make drastic choices that they normally shouldn't. How can you ask a 10-year-old girl to choose between having enough to eat or having an education, or between managing a household or living on the streets? You can't ask a 13-year-old girl to take care of a child, to raise a child, while she herself is still a child. Educating a girl today is educating a whole generation. So let's start taking actions. We don't want these baseless and empty promises anymore. We want promises that stick. We want action. We don't want more people to come and take reports and store these reports in distant and dusty office. We want actions and not picture of actions. We want concrete action. We want things to change. We want things to move forward. We want to show all these young women and girls that they are supported and that there is a way that they do have a right and that must be respected and protected. That they have the right to equality, quality education, children and the youth, to the opinions and speak out when making decisions that directly affect them or affect their daily life. Just because the situation seems difficult doesn't mean that you have to give up. We have to give up. These people need help. They need us to help them. They don't need us to take time to discuss a subject here and a subject there. They need action. They need us to consider them. These people need to be taken into account. We must give ourselves the time, the meaning, because yes, it's for those people who are in serious need of help, and the situation is getting on worse and worse day by day. It's our time. It's our us to take actions and make concrete acts. Thank you.